Not far from the Nova Scotia border lies the sleepy village of Dorchester, New Brunswick. During the golden age of sail in the 1800s, Dorchester was an important shipbuilding center. But for most of the past century, the village's main employer has been the federal penitentiary, the second oldest prison in operation in Canada. It was the decommissioned Old Town Jail, however, that the haunted team was called in to investigate for reported paranormal activity in April of 2018 by owner Bill Steele.
So Bill, tell me a little bit about why you decided to buy a jail.
I didn't want to live in the regular type of a house that everybody was living in. I was looking for something unique, something I could enjoy for my retirement and spend some time in, and hopefully have some visitors and stuff. So that's what I did. Was I bought this place, and it's never been open to the public, and I opened it up, and we're doing a B&B type thing. So people
Fantastic, and you're getting great results.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of people in and having a great time.
Did you know that it was haunted when you bought it?
The guy I bought the place from, he's on the news, and there's a clip on TV, and I keep looking at it, and they said, "Is this place haunted?" And he said, "Absolutely not." What a liar that guy was. I'll tell you that much. Andy. It was. I was kind of happy it wasn't going to be haunted because I'm a big chicken type thing. But when I kind of got here, from the first day, it was kind of a different deal. So, yeah, there's issues. I don't call it haunted, and I don't call them ghosts, for sure. I kind of have a little bit of respect here. It's like spirits, and it's worked out good for me, the relationship in here for what's kind of going on.
So this is cell number 5.
Yep.
Awesome. And this is one of your more active rooms?
This is probably the most active room we've had as far as people coming back to us and saying that they've had things happening here. And what it is people are being poked in this room, whether they spend the night or they walk by the door or something like that. They get touched in the back, right over in this area right here, just above their hip on the back. And one couple said that nothing happened to them, and it was early in the morning, and they had come down and they said, "Nothing happened. We're kind of disappointed, but we did get in a big fight. He was poking me all night." And he said, "No, I wasn't." I said, "Hey, that's what happens in that room." And they were quite surprised, but yeah, a lot of people in the tours. We've also had this room, and that's why there's a sticker on this here with my name and the signature. I walked by this cell one day, and I was telling somebody the story about this quickly, and we took about 10 steps there, and when we came back, the little latch was taken off the door, and this cell was actually locked. And the latch was actually sitting on top of the thing there. And I said, "Hey, did you hear anybody?" And there's nobody else in the jail. And I was just doing a quick little tour. And I showed him that it makes a big noise when you close it. And it was only 3 seconds that we had been gone by. So there's stuff happening in this cell here for sure, yeah. I knew nothing about paranormal stuff. I was not interested in that when I bought this place. I was just hoping I wouldn't be scared. And then when all this stuff happens here and people tell me the things that happen here, and it's consistent, from one week to the next, people from Vancouver, people from the States, everywhere, they tell me the same story in the same room. How can I say that's not happening? People say paranormal stuff doesn't happen. I'm telling you, I've heard the same thing from the same people, the same thing. "Hey, you know what happened to me last night? I was going to the washroom and somebody touched me here when I walked down past when I left everybody," and I'm going, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing, it really is. This is death row here. This is where Arthur and Daniel Bannister stayed in these 2 cells. That's a photograph of them. And it is reported this is where they were hung right here. I've opened it up a part there. They would actually cut a hole and put a trap door in and hang them here, build a scaffold. And they had spent time in this cell here. There's actually something here. I noticed this a few months ago. It looks like BAN. It looks like a banister. And that's the old, underneath the old whitewash, the original. So that would have been around the era of when they had stayed in here. But this is where they had stayed, in this cell, the next one.
And how long were they held here? Do you
I think it was 4 or 5 months. It was actually they stayed in Moncton for a while, then they were transferred here for their trial. Once convicted, they stayed here until they were hung, and they were hung right outside the cell right there. They were hung together One rope, I understand, and they have a piece of it next door in the Hood in the Keeler Museum next door here in Dorchester. And they had suffered for 20 minutes hanging downstairs from the second floor.
It seems very cruel. Why would they have done it like that?
Yeah, I don't know. They had talked about being hanged back to back. And I thought they hung one and hung the other. And then some people again had told me in the stories where they didn't want one to know the other one was dead. So they said, let's hang them together. That didn't work out too good if it took 20 minutes for them to die. You know, I think you're supposed to snap your neck and all that type of stuff, not choke you to death. But I think, I think something bad, once it started, you got to kind of go on. The younger guy didn't even really understand why he was being hung. He said, why are you putting a noose around my neck? It's too tight. He didn't understand what was going on here. So, yeah, they went reluctantly, both of them.
So we've got lots of activity here. We've got voices. You've heard voices. You've had washes of cold come over you.
Oh, yeah.
You've heard footsteps.
Yeah.
Banging of cell doors. Anything else? Things moving, falling,
things
being thrown
moving,
at
falling, thrown. Yeah, voices, objects moving, disappearing. Yeah, it's incredible.
Sounds like a pretty active place.
It is, yeah. It's like, wow, it's like, I almost go on a, congratulations, that's pretty neat. You've achieved a different level of freaking me right out about what you're doing, especially when they slammed that one door there we never touch. And one day it did a big slam and a latch. I'm going, oh my goodness. So I went back and I for whatever reason, I went back and I said, you got to check this out. Come here, take a look at this. And I came back and I brought her in that room right there and I said, I didn't say anything. I said, just wait a second. Boom! Snap! Latched like that. Freaked me right out. It was almost on demand because it happened to me. And I'm going, well, nobody's here. Nobody's going to believe this. I'm going to go get her and bring her back. And hopefully it happens again. And holy smokes, it happened like you would not believe.
So you think that by almost antagonizing it, by thinking it wouldn't happen again, may have caused it to happen again?
Oh, it was almost on cue. I couldn't have planned it perfect. I wish I had the video camera out at that time.
Oh, me too.
But a lot of things happen here. It's like, oh my goodness. Sometimes I don't even say anything and then it'll happen in front of you. Like maybe a ceiling tile will fall or something like that. I'm going, oh, by the way, when I said the word apple, it happened yesterday too. And just weird stuff like that I just can't explain. And that's why I don't even talk about some stuff. And then what happens is like, I guess I was supposed to talk about that stuff and share it with different people. But it's interesting. I love it.
All right, so here we are. We're in the Dorchester jail. Remember last time we were in a jail?
You mean when
Yarmouth, where
Yes.
I may or may not have unleashed a demon that's been stalking us ever since.
he's stalking us?
Yeah, no, mostly you.
Yeah, okay.
So funny thing, the last time we were out, it was at the Queens County Museum for the reinvestigation. All kinds of craziness went down. But one of the big craziness things is something that I always find fascinating, which is synchronicity, which you and I kind of had a whole trigger object synchronicity thing. So a little story before we begin our first night here at the Dorchester jail. We're driving up from Halifax today. You three came up in one car, but Jim and Holly and I came up in another. And for some reason, I can't remember why, something was playing on the radio and it just tweaked in we're talking about going to concerts or something. And I said, oh yeah, Fleetwood Mac is going on its, I think, final tour this summer. But they've just fired Lindsey Buckingham, who is, and I don't know how that happens, an integral part of Fleetwood Mac, but whatever. And they've replaced him, I found this interesting, with one of Tom Petty's old guitarists, but more interesting, Neil Finn, one of my favorite musicians from the 80s, from a band called Crowded House. And how did it go? So I mentioned Neil Finn's name, and you said something about...
Well, Crowded House being the Australian band, I made the comment, some sort of comment about 6 months in the leaky boat, and then you said...
And then being the complete 80s music nerd that I am, I corrected him and said, no, that wasn't Crowded House, that was Neil Finn's first band, Split Ends, which was actually from New Zealand. Funny thing. So, there you go. Split Ends was a relatively obscure band. Unless you were into new wave like I was, then you knew them. So, fine, think nothing of it. We come here, and as folks will see throughout the night, the folks here have knickknacks, whatever you want to call them, kitsch, sort of mementos. And so I'm upstairs, and he has all these old records because there's an old record player over here, which I thought, oh, we'll listen to some music while we're setting up. Funny thing, the first record on the pile of records, Split Enz, True Colors, which is actually my favorite Split Enz album. So that Split Enz we've known each other for 50 years. How many times has Split Enz come up in casual conversation between you and I?
Well, probably twice. Once back in the 80s when we first heard it, and the second time driving up here today.
Yeah, 6 months in a leaky boat. Cool song. So Neil Finn and Tim Finn, if you're watching, you guys have made it into a ghost hunting show with Synchronicity because I have it just randomly popped up. So that is setting the tone for the evening that there's some synchronicity afoot. And we have Bill to thank for picking up this really cool classic album, which I have to say is very hard to find because I've been trying to find it. Don't tell Bill that this album may come home with me. Probably not. So that's going to lead us into our ghost hunting tonight is some Synchronicity and some Split Enz. So there's nothing like 80s music to get us rolling. How do we want to do this now that we know that we're being synchronized?
Split up.
Split ends. And hopefully it's not ends. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, no. I'll get Bill to turn off some lights.
Come on. Let's go.
So Holly and the team just went upstairs. I'm actually on the right wing now. I jumped from the left wing to the right wing because I heard something upstairs, which is the gym area. But I got the creeps when I was going through here earlier. Didn't feel right. So when no one's around, I guess I'll challenge myself to okay, I hear something. What is that noise? I do not feel okay down here. Like that turned from, oh, this is fun to, oh, you should run. Something about that back freaking corner. Like, okay, there's two types of cold chills I get. One, when you're cold, and it just kind of runs through my, like, oh man, it's really cold. And sorry. And the other is like fear-based cold chills. And I got it when we first got here, and we were kind of checking out the place. And I just got it again as I'm coming down here. God. Like I just have a feeling of something is behind me. Not a fan. So I'm in one of the jail cells right now that I've kind of named the asbestos room because there's a lot of mold in here. And see, we've done a jail before. We did the Yarmouth jail. And at the Yarmouth jail, Paul was being nice and managed to, as he put it, let something free, which was our only 6.66 gigabyte file of the entirety of season 1. So jails kind of worry me because following that, I saw what I can only describe as the head of a demon. And I don't really want to go through that again. It's a little deja vu. I gotta say, I think this This place is actually creeping me out already a little more than Yarmouth. It's either a good thing or a bad thing. Good for TV, bad for my sanity. So this looks like the logo of a cult or something. Look at that. It's like eyes, eye, mouth, weird crown thing. Cool. This is great. I gotta stop being a wuss. I can turn the light off. If there is anything here, because I feel rambunctious right now, slam a door. If there is anything here, because I feel rambunctious right now, slam a door. It can be a cell door, it can be just a wooden door, anything. The hell was that? What's wrong? What are you feeling?
A sense of foreboding.
Yeah.
Good. I haven't had that much tonight, really,
I had
in
it
this place.
severely in this room. Not this room, the death row room.
Well, there's an ADR up here, so if anything, potentially.
Does anything look like it moved?
Not really. That I can see. Piece of wood there. Yeah, I think so, actually. Because I noticed it being odd before, but yeah.
Jesus, it's fucking cold. One of these days, that's gonna knock back.
Yeah.
I don't see anything different in here.
So you do or you don't?
I don't. Everything's
Sorry, Chelsea.
the same.
Huh. Okay. We're gonna have to go downstairs and someone's gonna have to stay up here and do that.
I'm not.
Hey, Paul, are you busy?
Nope.
You're gonna hate this, but can you come out to death row for a quick second?
Okay, on my way.
When we were down there, it vibrated like.
This one isn't. Huh. We want to go downstairs, right below you.
Yeah.
We want you to do two things.
Okay.
First, open this door a slight bit,
Right.
then close it,
Gotcha.
and then,
Just like hit it like that.
yeah.
The way that this door is structured, I think it could give that vibration that we felt downstairs.
Okay, back down you go, and you want me to do that door? I'll do that first, and then I'll do that, and walkie-talkie me when you're ready.
Okay.
Oh, and I left the ED in the hallway there, so you run across it.
Okay.
Okay.
If it's gone beneath about 11.6 degrees, let me know,
Okay.
because that'll be bad.
Did you say 11.6?
Hey, Paul, oh my God. Did you say 11.6?
Yeah, it's gone down 11, any lower than 11.6. It means it's had a 1.4 drop in the last 5 minutes or so.
It's 11.0. We just watched it drop like 0.3 as we were looking at it.
Okay. Let's get to that after. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, good to know. Can you test the hidden jail cell door first? The laundry room door.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Second part.
Do it again.
Go one more time.
3, 2, 1.
Shit.
It's closer than what we heard.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, can you try the jail cell door now?
Okay, here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Tabor, that was it, eh?
That's what you heard? Can you just do one single bump of it?
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
That's a little messed up. While we're down it now, ask him if he is here.
Is Satan or an entity or dark lord or being pretending to be Satan or that we might mistake for Satan here right now?
Time to leave.